What if I told you that the biggest difference between a millionaire and everyone else isn't intelligence, luck, or even income? It's habits.
Not the kind of habits you notice on social media. Not luxury cars. Not designer watches. Not private jets. The habits that quietly happen behind closed doors. The small decisions nobody applauds. The routines nobody posts online. The choices that seem boring today but become life-changing years later. Here's the surprising part. Most millionaires don't wake up asking, "How can I make more money today?" Instead, they ask, "How can I make better decisions today?" Because they understand something that most people never realize. Money is not created by one lucky moment. It's created by thousands of tiny choices repeated over and over again. And those tiny choices slowly shape your future without you even noticing. Think about it. Two people can earn exactly the same salary. One retires financially free. The other struggles with debt for decades. The paycheck wasn't different. The habits were. That's why this video isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about becoming the kind of person wealth naturally follows, because wealth isn't just something you earn, it's something you become. If you copy someone's income, you may become wealthy for a while, but if you copy their habits, you can build wealth for a lifetime. Today we're going to explore the wealth habits that many self-made millionaires share, not because they're magical, not because they're secret, but because they work. And by the end of this video, you may realize that building wealth has far less to do with money than you've been told. Imagine two friends graduating from college together. They both get similar jobs. They earn nearly the same salary. They live in the same city. They even rent apartments in the same neighborhood. At first, their lives look almost identical. One friend upgrades everything as soon as each paycheck arrives. A newer phone, a better car, more expensive clothes, weekend shopping, dinner out several nights a week. Nothing extreme, just small upgrades that feel deserved. The other friend lives differently. Not because he enjoys being cheap, not because he hates spending. He simply asks one question before almost every purchase. Will this improve my future, or just improve today? Sometimes he buys. Sometimes he waits. Sometimes he invests instead. Year after year, the difference between them grows almost invisibly. 5 years later, the first friend wonders why there's never enough money left. The second has built investments, an emergency fund, skills that increased his income, and most importantly, peace of mind. Neither became wealthy because of one giant decision. One became wealthy because of thousands of small ones. That's the part people rarely see. We celebrate the millionaire. We rarely notice the habits that created the millionaire. Psychologists call this the compound effect of behavior. Small actions repeated consistently begin to shape identity. Your habits influence your decisions. Your decisions influence your financial results. And those results eventually become your lifestyle. That's why wealth isn't simply a number in your bank account. It's a system, a way of thinking, a way of solving problems, a way of making decisions when nobody is watching. If your habits improve, your money often follows. If your habits stay the same, even a larger income may disappear faster than you expect, because income can create wealth, but habits protect it. And that's exactly where our journey begins. Let's explore the first habit that quietly separates millionaires from almost everyone else. Habit number 1, they think long before they spend.
Most people believe that wealthy people spend more money because they have more money. But that's not how it works. The truth is, most self-made millionaires think much longer about spending than the average person. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Is this worth the price I'm paying?" Those are two completely different questions. Every dollar you spend is more than just money leaving your wallet. It represents time, energy, and future opportunities. When millionaires look at a purchase, they don't just see the price tag. They see what that money could become if it were invested instead. Imagine holding $100 in your hand. Most people see a nice dinner, a new pair of shoes, or the latest gadget. A millionaire often sees something completely different. They see a small investment that could grow into hundreds or even thousands of dollars over time. This is called opportunity cost. Every financial decision closes the door on another possibility. Spending isn't just about what you buy today, it's also about what you give up tomorrow. That's why wealthy people don't chase every trend. They don't feel the need to impress strangers with expensive purchases. They understand that real wealth is built quietly, long before anyone notices the results. Psychologists have studied this behavior for decades. One famous concept is called delayed gratification. It simply means choosing a better reward in the future instead of a smaller reward today. One of the most well-known experiments involved children being offered one marshmallow immediately or two marshmallows if they waited a little longer. Surprisingly, the children who learned to wait often achieved better financial, academic, and career outcomes later in life. Money works in a very similar way. Every time you resist an unnecessary purchase, you're training your brain to think beyond the present moment. Over time, those decisions become habits, and those habits begin changing your financial future. This doesn't mean millionaires never enjoy life. They absolutely do. They travel, they celebrate, and they buy things they genuinely value. The difference is that their spending is intentional, not emotional. Many people shop because they're stressed, bored, lonely, or trying to impress others. Millionaires usually spend with a purpose. They buy things that improve their lives, increase their productivity, or create even more opportunities. Think about someone who buys an expensive course that teaches a valuable skill. At first glance, it looks like they're spending money. In reality, they're investing in future income. Now compare that with someone who spends the same amount on something they'll forget about a few weeks later. The money is gone, but nothing meaningful has changed. The amount spent was the same. The outcome was completely different. That's one of the biggest wealth habits you'll ever learn. Wealth isn't determined by how much money enters your life. It's determined by what you choose to do with it after it arrives. Every purchase tells a story about your priorities. Every dollar has a job. If you don't decide where your money should go, your emotions will decide for you. And emotions are often terrible financial advisors. The next time you're about to buy something, pause for just a few seconds and ask yourself one simple question. Will this purchase make my future better? Or will it only make today feel better? That one question has the power to completely change the way you think about money. Because millionaires don't become wealthy by making one perfect decision. They become wealthy by making thousands of small, thoughtful decisions that most people never even notice. And those quiet decisions, repeated year after year, eventually create extraordinary results. There's one final habit that quietly connects every self-made millionaire in the world. It's not about earning more. It's not about working longer hours. It's not about being born into the right family. It's about taking complete responsibility for your financial future. Millionaires don't blame the economy. They don't blame their boss. They don't blame bad luck. Instead, they ask one simple question. What can I do differently? That question gives them power. Because the moment you stop blaming the world, you start changing your world. Think about it. Every successful person has faced setbacks. They've made bad investments. They've lost money. Some have even gone completely broke, but they refused to stay there. Instead of seeing failure as the end, they saw it as tuition, a lesson they had to pay for, and every lesson made them wiser. This is where psychology plays a huge role. Your brain is designed to protect you from discomfort. It wants certainty. It wants safety. It wants familiar routines. That's why change feels uncomfortable. That's why investing feels risky. That's why building wealth often feels difficult in the beginning. But here's the truth. Everything you want financially exists on the other side of consistent discipline. Not motivation. Discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you'll feel inspired. Other mornings you won't. Millionaires understand this. That's why they build systems, instead of depending on emotions. They automate their savings. They automate their investments. They follow routines whether they feel like it or not. Because success isn't built on perfect days. It's built on consistent days. Imagine planting a tiny seed. The next morning, nothing changes. A week later, still nothing. A month later, it still looks like nothing is happening. Most people would quit, but underground, the roots are growing. Then one day, the tree finally breaks through the surface. Wealth works exactly the same way. For months, sometimes years, it feels like nothing is happening. Then suddenly, your investments begin growing faster. Your income increases. New opportunities appear. People call it luck, but it was never luck. It was years of invisible habits finally becoming visible results.